Finally, it will have on the one hand the system of ideas, logically coordinated together or concentrated into one only, on the other a quasi-not, the Platonic, non-being, or the Aristotelian, matter, but having cut your cloth you must sew it. With suprasensible ideas and an infrasensible non-being, you now have to reconstruct the sensible world. You can do so only if you postulate a kind of metaphysical necessity in virtue of which the confronting of this all with this zero is equivalent to the affirmation of all the degrees of reality that measure the interval between them, just as an undivided number, when regarded as a difference between itself and zero, is revealed as a certain sum of units, and with its own affirmation affirms all the lower numbers. That is the natural postulate. It is that also that we perceive as the base of the Greek philosophy. In order then to explain the specific characters of each of these degrees of intermediate reality, nothing more is necessary than to measure the distance that separates it from the integral reality. Each lower degree consists of a diminution of the higher, and the sensible newness that we perceive in it is resolved, from the point of view of the intelligible, into the new quantity of negation which is superadded to it. The smallest possible quantity of negation, that which is found already in the highest forms of sensible reality, and consequently a fortiori in the lower forms, is that which is expressed by the most general attributes of sensible reality, extension, and duration. By increasing degradations, we will obtain attributes more and more special. Here, the philosopher's fancy will have free scope, for it is by an arbitrary decree, or at least a debatable one, that a particular aspect of the sensible world will be equated with a particular diminution of being. We shall not necessarily end, as Aristotle did, in a world consisting of concentric spheres turning on themselves, but we shall be led to an analogous cosmology. I mean, to a construction whose pieces, though all different, will have nonetheless the same relations between them. And this cosmology will be ruled by the same principle. The physical will be defined by the logical. Beneath the changing phenomena will appear to us, by transparence, a closed system of concepts subordinated to and coordinated with each other. Science, understood as the system of concepts, will be more real than the sensible reality. It will be prior to human knowledge, which is only able to spell it letter by letter, prior also to things which awkwardly try to imitate it. It would only have to be diverted an instant from itself in order to step out of its eternity and thereby coincide with all this knowledge and all these things. Its immutability is, therefore, indeed, the cause of the universal becoming. Such was the point of view of ancient philosophy in regard to change and duration. That modern philosophy has repeatedly, but especially in its beginnings, had the wish to depart from it, seems to us unquestionable. But an irresistible attraction brings the intellect back to its natural movement, and the metaphysic of the moderns to the general conclusions of the Greek metaphysic. We must try to make this point clear in order to show by what invisible threads our mechanistic philosophy remains bound to the ancient philosophy of ideas, and how also it responds to the requirements, above all practical, of our understanding.